Andy Braatz from Gerald Nell Incorporated. It's great since I've been a member of the group now, I think there's 6 of you out in the group now that my company also doubles up on what you do, so I try not to step on toes as much as possible. On our website, one thing that you may have seen picking up on the bottom when John had our page up is motto, one team, one growth. What that means is we can handle from your initial design to your construction to your management. I work on the construction side. I'm a project manager, so any type of construction project, remodeling, new construction, I would be your first contact through project closeout. As I mentioned, on our design side, we have 2 lead licensed architects, lead certified state licensed architects in our office. Our master electrician and our licensed designer for plumbing services, all in-house. On the construction side, we maintain these in-house crews. I personally manage the rough and finish carpentry crew. So I've got 8 guys that I'm in charge of scheduling for every day. So that's the division that I deal mostly with on an every day-to-day basis. I will skip this for Paul, but Paul works with our lease agents as well on both the tenant representation and getting together on spaces. As far as experience goes, Gerald Nell Inc. was founded in 1966 by Gerald Nell. He passed away in 2009. His son Mike is now president and my boss. Originally worked as a property developer and strictly a general contractor. In the 70s, early 80s, Nell bought up those other companies in order to start the one roof concept. Jerry was a property owner, and instead of paying somebody else all the time to service his buildings, he said, why don't I pay myself to service my own buildings? And that process has then grown by those in-house mechanical trades. Design builder, we we brought on a licensed engineer in the 80s, and that spawned into the architects now. So again, any kind of design and approval process that you need to go through any municipalities for your plan commission, architectural control board, building permitting, all that stuff, you need to have an architect on the commercial side to help out with any of those things. We do work in the southeast Wisconsin area, primarily the 5-county region, most typically in Waukesha and Milwaukee County. We've gone as far north as Appleton. We've got a client who we were going to work for in Green Bay before the economy tanked 4 years ago. We've worked as far west as Dodgeville and down into Kenosha. That's basically our range. Some of the types of projects and the markets that we deal with there, primarily the top 2, the office and multi-tenant. I do a lot of build-to-suit tenant renovations. So for any of the space that Nell manages, I take care of those build-to-suit renovations, as well as my private customer base, a lot of interior renovations, as well as building additions and things. The other thing that we do quite a bit of is industrial and manufacturing, but the other trades there we do perform, or the other markets there we do serve as well. If you're not familiar with it, or you've never been through a construction process yourself or at an organization you may belong to, the different vehicles here for delivery of a project are shown. The most typical, the oldest trick in the book is a single architect puts together a set of plans, gets it out to general contractors to bid. 2 other delivery types that have become much more prevalent in the last 20, 30 years are the design build, which is one of the services that we try to push as much as we can in order to help our clients out, is by having the architects in-house. And the real big benefit about that is having myself and the 3 other project managers that we have working directly with the architects to try to work on cost control right up front, as opposed to, in a lot of situations, an architect is like the artist. This is their idea, their vision, and a lot of times that ends up being too expensive, and that kills a lot of time in a project delivery. In a design-build situation, the people who understand the costs, meaning the contractors, myself, are working hand in hand with the architects to try to design your project up front in order to have that, to have those costs taken care of up front and eliminate time for value engineering on the back end. Construction management is another opportunity where you basically have one person who manages the bid process for everybody, and no work is self-performed, where everything is subcontracted out. Again, the general contractor typically will have a concrete crew and a carpentry crew perhaps, whereas, as I showed earlier, Nell has the 6 different trades all in-house. All of our trades do work individually as well, so in fact, one of my carpenters is doing a 2-hour service call later today, just for a client of mine. Scope of projects. Again, a little bit we talked about new construction and development, so brand new buildings, building additions, renovations of existing facilities. That's been a real boon for us the past few years, as much as there can be in construction right now. There is so much available commercial space on the market right now. There's so many buildings that are being repurposed, reused. I've worked at an old Evinrude factory, which was then a lighting manufacturer, which now they do converting of wet wipes, prepackaged moist towelette type things. And actually they're going to be moving in the next year or so. So somebody else, so in 50 years that building is going to have 4 different manufacturers in it. A lot of that going on right now. We also do service calls, as I had mentioned, maintenance, repair, and again, what I do a ton of for Nell is the tenant build-to-suit construction. Again, one of the other services on our design aspect that we do, and this it's kind of hard to see, limited screen size, but we've got a gentleman in our office who has an industrial engineering background. What that means is that if you've got a client or you know somebody who has a manufacturing operation and it's and all the arrows are doing this on the right picture. So if you need to streamline your manufacturing process, we've got assistants in-house that can help create a better delivery manufacturing process within your existing building or a new building in order to streamline and save you money on your manufacturing processes. So now we get to some of the pretty pictures, and I'll just stay down here. One of the things that we also can do with AutoCAD and various programs is 3D rendering. So here we have 2 different interior shots that we developed for a client, and this project ended up getting built. This is if anybody has been golfing at alleged at Brandybrook out in Wales. I have not. You have to make way more money than I do. But we were one of the generals working, and we built the clubhouse here. Wow. Some other representative projects. Prairie Place, the Class A office. That was actually one of the first projects I cut my teeth on, and it was it's a 2-story office building, sloped green roof, right next to the Thunder Bay Grill out in Waukesha. If you've seen that. Triad Creative Group, a technology center in city of Brookfield. CL&D Graphics is one of my clients out in Oconomowoc. They at the left, the before picture, an old leftover space. Basically, they converted and dumped some office people in there. We turned it over to be a nice, contemporary-looking, exposed, open to the deck, painted black construction. Buban & Associates is an orthodontist. Locations that Nell has built in Pewaukee, Oconomowoc, Johnson Creek we just completed, and right now we're in development for another location in Wauwatosa. Now some other interior shots for the doctor. Z2 Marketing is a marketing firm that we work with. They rent space from us. The only client I've ever been to that maintains a full bar in their office. They must have a lot of self-control. Their business is growing, so they're doing something right. If anybody is in Waukesha County, you've been to Hawes, the Humane Society. We've been very involved in that the past 5 or 6 years. We put a building addition on in 2009. Here's some interior interior shots of the work we've done inside. Again, one of the commercial HVAC services we do. This was a client where they were re-roofing and we had to clean up, take all the mess that's on the left and create it into a much nicer layout on the right. George Webb's rent space from us, and we had to construct a freezer slab for them. So that's something that our concrete crew can do. Here's some of the reasons why you should choose Nell. From what our brokers had talked about earlier, and this is something that I would maintain for myself as well. You're not just buying a schlep contractor, somebody who's going to be after a change order. I've got 16 years of experience within the business. I know what I'm talking about. I try to help people solve their needs, or solve their problems by meeting their needs in the most cost-effective means as possible, steering them in the right direction, not just towards my bottom line. So, thank you very much. Andy from Gerald Nell.